Now, what we have here, guys, is the point 4 minus 2 is a midpoint of the line segment joining minus 2, 1 to PQ. Find the value of P and the value of Q. Now, if I was to draw this using a graph, okay, what you could do is this. You could say, and I'll space it out. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So just sort of labeling it like this at the moment. I always forget that you're meant to, don't have to now, but you're meant to put them on. You should only have one set of number in every quarter if you can, but it's not always possible. Yeah, no, that one's going to have to two in a minute. Oh well. Now, what happens next? No, it's not a big deal, guys. You just write in your numbers. Now, what happens next, guys, is we have minus 2 and 1, yeah? So minus 2 and 1 is minus 2 to the left and 1 in the air, yeah? And then we're told that 4 minus 2 is the midpoint. So 4 across and minus 2 down. Now, as it turns out, lucky for me, I can do this. But as it turns out, the midpoint, okay? So I'll have to do it like this. Now, if you're to do the midpoint of this line, how far did I go down to get to this point here, and how far did I go across? So I went down 6 blocks, but every 2 block is worth 1. So I went down 3 and across how many? Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 divided by 2? 6. Down 3, across 6. So we do the same thing again. Down 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, sorry, just one thing here. I just decided, like, do you remember I scaled it up, but I think we're better off actually just going minus 2, 1 is here. Is everybody alright with that? And then 4 minus 2 being 4 across and 2 down. So it's much easier this way, I suppose. So how many blocks did we go down and across? So we went 3 down and 6 across, yeah? It's the midpoint, right? So we go the same distance down for the other one. 3 down and 6 across, and we get to here. Now, is 4 minus 2 now the midpoint of that line? It looks like it, doesn't it? That's 4 minus 2. This one here is minus 2, 1. So what is this point here then? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 across, which is 10 to the right, and how many down? 10 minus 5. So you can see, you can do it by diagram quite easy, okay? Now, here's how I'd suggest you do it without drawing a diagram. Is like this. You get your point, and you always put the midpoint in the so you put the start, the midpoint in the middle, and the end. Okay? So you start off at minus 2, 1. You end up going to 4, 2. How'd you go from minus 2 to 4? How many blocks do you have to go up to get there? 6. You go 6 blocks to the right. So that means plus 6 to x. And how'd you go from 1 to, sorry, that's a minus 2. How'd you go from 1 to minus 2? Minus 3. Now, plus 6 means 6 to the right. Minus 3 means 3 down. Add it on to the midpoint then. What's 4 plus 6? 10. What's minus 2 minus 3? So you can see that you can do it by using algebra, and you don't have to draw the diagram either. We'll do it the opposite way around this time. This time what I'll do is I'll do it the algebra way first, and then I'll do it the graphical way second. That makes sense? So what happens is start, middle or midpoint, end. The midpoint of P and Q, 1 second, it's a yeah, no, it's a slightly different question, so I just want to okay guys, so for number 16 instead, okay? The point 16 is the midpoint of the line segment joining AB and 4, 7. So use 4, 7 as your start, okay? And then you're going to try and find out what your end is, okay? So to go from 4 to 1, how do you go from 4 to 1? Minus 3 to the x value. And then from 7 to 6, minus 1 to y. Do the same thing to the midpoint. What happens when you take away 3 from 1? Minus 2. And then 6 minus 1, 5. So the answer is minus 2, 5. Is that right? Now, if I was to draw that using a diagram, now some of you might not remember this on the day, so you can always just draw the diagram and try and just use eyesight to get the answer, really. You can draw it like this, 1, 6, 1 up, 6 up here. That's the midpoint M. And then the point 4, 7, 4 across and 7 up. Now, that's the end, yeah? How many blocks do you go down? Down 1 and left 3. And then you can go down 1 and left 3. And then you'll find your starting off point. So what is the starting off point again? Minus 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 2, 5. They're both handy ways of doing it, aren't they? Now, what I didn't get around to was doing the I didn't get around to doing question 17 there, so I did 15. What is it at the moment? 15, 16, and now I'll do 17. So 17, guys. If the midpoint of PQ and minus 4, 7 is the same as the midpoint of 4 minus 3 and minus 2, 7, find the value of P and the value of Q. Okay, I'm going to use the midpoint formula twice, if that's alright with you guys. Okay, so I can do it like this. I can use x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Are you alright with that? Now, find the midpoint of this one here. Okay, so x1, y1, x2 and y2. And we can do it like this. 4 plus minus 2 all over 2. And then y1 plus y2 minus 3 plus 7 all over 2. We get 2 over 2, which is 1. We get 4 over 2, which is 2 when you use the calculator. The midpoint is 1, 2. So, the midpoint of this one and this one is the same as the midpoint of this one and this one. Okay? So we do the same trick as last time. Start, midpoint, and end. So imagine that this doesn't exist anymore now. All this information here is gone. Okay? And we're just zoning in on this part here. Okay? It starts at minus 4, 7. What's the midpoint? 1, 2. How did I go from minus 4 to 1? Plus 5 to x. How did I go from 7 to 2? To y. Do the same thing again. 5 plus 1. And then minus 5 minus 3. That means your p value is 6 and your q value is minus 3. Okay? Now, if you were really struggling in an exam, at the back of your book, there's always like, sorry, 1 second. There's always this here. Okay, and what you could do is this. Just simply do something like this. Just draw it out. Oh, not using something like that though. So draw it out, and what we could say is 4 minus 3, 4 up minus 3 down, minus 2, 7, minus 2 and 7 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, draw the line linking them together. Now where's the midpoint? How many blocks do we go across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 across, and how many up do we go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 up. To get to the midpoint, I'd do half the work. I'd go 3 across and 5 up. And that will leave me at the point 1, 2. Is everybody alright with that? Then, once I've used that information, it's the same midpoint. Okay? So if it's the same midpoint, then I can figure out this using minus 4. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, minus 4, 7 is where, guys? Minus 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? It has to go through the midpoint, doesn't it? And out the same distance. So how many blocks do I need to go down? 1. I have to link the 2 blue dots together now. So how many blocks do I go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down. How many across? 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 across. So the same thing the other side. 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now all of a sudden, you see the blue line? This is the point we're looking for. And what is that point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and minus 3 down. Happy about that. Okay, guys. So that was 15, 16, 17, was it? What exercise? Oh, wait.